Sounds crazy.
It's going to be a Mexican sweet potato hash, requested by the champions.
And Jay, what are you gonna come down with a Versace roll on?
Greatness doesn't arrive, Lou arrives prepared. Shakur Stevenson moves through this moment like a man who's quietly circled it his entire life with patience, purpose, discipline.
Started out playing baseball, and, baseball bat in his hand. He exhibited a very keen hand-eye coordination, at a very early age, He and I, every day, were watching boxing. So one day, he finally sat up and just started punching. I'm like, whoa, hey. While he was walking, at the time, barely, he started punching and throwing the bat, all doing everything.
That one right there. Work, guys. You got one. Don't stay here. Don't stay here. Don't stay here. Ain't nothing. Personally, yeah, bro. Sure, had you come, you got a little shot and catch on. Huh? Little boy, was I catching it? You got it back. Hey, it's straight. I seen you around a couple of times. How was that?
There's no rush in his steps, no wasted motion, only purpose stacking on purpose, especially now with Andre Ward his corner sharpening every edge as Shakur prepares for Teofimo.
Yeah. The way your heart rate is recovering right now, you getting close, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm like, he getting tired.
Yeah.
And then he'll do some flight. Boom, boom. Like, okay.
I gotta rest up, take some wind.
Yeah. I saw him catching some of that too.
Is what you really gotta watch out for. I like the little, but the lead hand is like sneaky. It's down here, so you get caught like looking at it and waiting for it to come, and then thump.
I like how he stay long and keep that angle.
Yeah, he keep the angle.
Keep his head off the fucking line.
Just in case, especially with somebody fast like him with timing. You can't be out of position. You got that.
Yeah.
He strong as hell. He picked me up in there. It was fun though. Just to be in the ring with him, share the ring with him, test his IQ out a little bit, see some of the moves he's doing, and I'm gonna go take with me when I go fight. So I appreciate
That alone shows how serious this is. Ward doesn't babysit potential, he fine-tunes champions. What he's feeding Shakur is patience positioning, and that championship calm that only appears when the lights burn hottest.
Many are called, few are chosen. He was a chosen one. How he stood apart was his talent, his gifts. He was able to do things that the average fighter wasn't able to do. It's something about elite fighters. Their talent stand out apart from, the competition, like way before it come to fruition. And I'm one where I'm looking and searching and seeking for that special talent.
Oh my God! I'm down. Boxing means everything to me. Boxing is like my life. It's like something I'm married to. Like I feel like I'm married to boxing. Like I put my all into the sport. I do whatever I can to be the best, and I'm gonna keep doing whatever I can to get better and better. And I just want to be the best.
You saw flashes of it against Zepeda. Shakur didn't just survive pressure. He broke it down, staying calm, while chaos slid off him. Line that up with Teofimo's best nights, and the contrast is sharp. Teofimo explodes and bursts. Shakur drains you round by round, until you suddenly have nothing left. That control didn't begin in some polished gym. His grandfather, Wally Moses, explained it best. Shakur started in baseball, showing elite hand-eye coordination early. Constant exposure to boxing pulled him in, and even as a child, he instinctively threw punches leading to early mitt work and rapid natural improvement.
Time went on, you know, I started working with the mitts with him, you know, at an early age, and, you know, he really got good at it. So by the time he turned 5 years old, I took him to the gym. One day I took, you know, like old karate pitcher, I took the boxing gloves, sat him here, took the baseball bat, sat it here, and I said, yo, whichever one you choose is gonna be your destiny. So he made a quick veer to the boxing glove, picked up the boxing glove, put him on his hand, said, that's it. Everything else was hit.
At 5 years old, he was given a clear choice between baseball and boxing, and he chose the gloves without hesitation, setting everything in motion. That decision still echoes now. Shakur isn't chasing noise or moments. He's grinding like a machine day after day, built to break Teofimo down piece by piece until confidence meets calculation, and only one survives.
Well, camp has been going great, you know, looking at the anticipation of the things that's coming forward. You know, we're not looking past anybody, but, you know, he's been working very hard, and he's been in the gym a very good amount of time, and, you know, I think he's taking this fight just as seriously as he would take any other fight, if not more. So I know for sure that I could say he's...
On the other side of that calm, calculated storm stands Teofimo Lopez, loud, fully charged, smiling like a man who already sees the ending. This is Teofimo at his boldest, joking, poking, calling Shakur a roadrunner. Beneath the trolling, though, something sharper is taking shape.
I'm fighting a roadrunner from the Coyote. You chose me. I ain't choose you. You chose me. So I'm going to tell you straight the F up. You can go back to 135. We'll send you back to lightweight. You still got your WBC belt. You're going to be fine. Shakur will fall. Yes. We are here at the Undisputed Performance Center, just in preparation for January 31st against Shakur Stevenson.
He was born for this. He's God gifted. We're implementing a lot of different things for this camp. You got to do things in there that people have never seen.
Every day is a different type of segment of working out. Earlier today, I had a little bit of strength and conditioning, and then swimming, exercising and expanding those lungs. And then we finish off late night. We come here and do 18 ounces of gloves, an hour or as long as I can of training without.
Because Teofimo doesn't joke like this when he's lost, he jokes like this when he's locked in. You hear in how he talks about the fight half comedy, half warning, daring Shakur to run, just so he can prove a point. This is a Teofimo who lives for big moments, turning pressure into fuel and doubt into motivation.
Fast whenever he's in good condition. Like they say, we eat, we sleep, everything boxing.
My nutritionist is anonymous. They're giving me a lot more protein than the previous camps. I'm actually having more meals in between.
He balances focus with chaos in a way only he understands. And right beside him, as always, is Teofimo Sr. running the camp to voice the belief system, reminding his son who he is and who he was before doubt ever crept in.
And with him ever since he started boxing, which was at 6. I really knew that he was really good when he started beating professional fighters at 13, 14 years old.
Putting me and Shakur when we were under top rank because we were the next rising stars. We sparred, we did only 3 rounds back in Miami in 2016. I was getting the best out of him. You should have seen afterwards. Why do you think he said stop? He said stop recording. Come on, dog.
That father-son dynamic is still the engine, still the heartbeat of Teofimo's preparation for Stevenson, pushing him to trust his instincts, sharpen his timing, and lean into the explosiveness behind his best nights. This is that dangerous Teofimo lane, serious enough to work, confident enough to laugh, and stubborn enough to believe the world has it wrong again.
I learned the most with this fight coming up. I don't even look at my fights after I fight. I just go clock in, do my work. Shakur and that community are all personal, buddy, where I'm like by myself a lot of times. But that's part of the success because they're all Michael Vicks and I'm...
History shows that when Teofimo smiles, talks, and trains like this, uncertainty is gone. You're facing a fighter who expects to own the ring and make everyone else chase him.
I'm gonna conquer.
You're not conquering.
I get bullied constantly in the boxing world. Everyone's favoring Shakur Stevenson. Although he's coming up to my weight class, I am the king of this division.
Then I have Shakur Jigama. No?
You said you're gonna do what?
Jigga my balls.
What? Wallace,
You hard,
bro. Pause.
You hard.
So that's why we got to keep beating these guys. Beating Shakur, this is part of it to get to that next level. I've
pretty much have had almost everything thrown at me, and I look forward to see what will be thrown at me come.
Right after Teofimo painted himself as a chaos agent ready to drag the fight into deep, uncomfortable waters, Oscar Valdez stepped in sounding like someone who's actually been trapped in that maze and knows how the walls shift. Valdez didn't bring hype, he brought scars. When he said the key against Shakur is avoiding greed to hit hard because greed is exactly how Shakur turns elite fighters into frustrated shadow boxers. Valdez kept returning to patience. Don't let Shakur pull you into his rhythm. That's what people underestimate. Shakur doesn't force you to play his game. He removes every other option until you're left with no choice but to fight.
The tone was so much with Shakur. You better have a game plan because the guy he's going to be patient. He's not gonna get off his game plan to fall into your trap. So if I'm Teofimo Lopez coach, I would tell him not to lose focus, not to get frustrated inside that ring. Stick to your game plan, whatever game plan it is. If it's A, B, C, whatever it is, stick to it and go.
When Valdez breaks down how Shakur rocks back taps you again, then waits for you to overcommit, so he can strike cleaner, it's not commentary, it's trauma analysis. I loved how Oscar admitted his own mistake, saying frustration crept in because he grew up on that Morales-era mindset heart-first action now. Meanwhile, Shakur is inside playing chess with a smile, fishing for reactions like it's a hobby. Valdez said it bluntly, Shakur isn't there to entertain, he's there to win. That explains why this fight unnerves people. Teofimo thrives on moments. Shakur thrives on minutes.
Shakur Stevenson, like I said, it's easier said than done with a fighter like that because, it's not like he's too back from you. He's just right there in your face, and once you throw, he just rocks back a little bit and touches you. Then it becomes very frustrating. Then when you start loading up, then he does it again. He starts loading up in his shots, but just unboxing you. So I would just say, it's like I said, it's a tough one for me to pick.
Here's where Oscar turned up the heat. He didn't dismiss Teofimo at all. He said pressure can work, but only intelligent pressure, not pitbull-style kamikaze attacks. More like calculated suffocation, waiting for one clean opening and making it count. When Valdez calls this a true 50-50, that's not hedging its respect for Teofimo's ceiling. He reminded us Teo rises with the competition, even if he looks shaky in the middle. Framed this way, Shakur is a puzzle, but Teofimo might be the only fighter athletic and strong enough to flip the table instead of solving it. That's why this fight feels less like prediction and more like risk assessment.
You tried to do it, and Shakur's undefeated at this point, but how do you beat a Shakur Stevenson?
I think how you beat a Shakur Stevenson, if I can go back and you do something, try. And I say this, try, because like I said, you just said it done, but try to put the pressure like Camarón Cepeda did, and just wait for your shot to land good, and make that damage work.
Right after Valdez framed this as more a psychological endurance test than a fist fight, Augie Sanchez stepped in with the rarest credential in boxing analysis. He's literally been in the ring with both fighters. That instantly raised the stakes. Augie didn't speak like a fan guessing outcomes. He spoke like a coach recalling moments. When he said Shakur never truly believed he had power until he actually dropped someone and looked shocked by his own hands, that tells you everything about how dangerous he really is. Augie emphasized that Shakur doesn't waste punches, and that's critical. He doesn't beat you loud. He beats you efficiently, like your phone battery draining faster than expected. He clarified Shakur isn't Floyd 2.0. He's more stationary, more comfortable staying right in front of you, popping shots rolling just enough to make you miss and touching you back like a receipt, methodical, precise, and quietly deadly.
I think Teo's his angles. I think his angles are gonna be a factor, because he likes to use those angles. He's not one dimensional. He likes to use those angles, and I think that's gonna kind of be a factor in the fight for Shakur, because Shakur's kind of stay in one spot, and so Teofimo could be utilizing those angles to use, to his advantage, and so I think Teofimo, I think that's gonna be a big factor, for him, is his angles and his speed. and his power. He can crack too.
Augie flips the lens, reminding us he worked with Teofimo, two same Olympic camps, same Colorado Springs grind, same endless sparring rounds, where everyone knew Teo had speed, power angles, and explosive athleticism you can't teach. What stood out was Augie stressing Teo's angles, not just his power, because that's where this fight lives or dies. He made it clear Teo isn't one-dimensional if he can use those angles to disrupt Shakur's timing. That's when things get dangerous. But Augie immediately circled back. Shakur's timing and counters are elite, and give him a moment and he will find you. The wild part is hearing Augie describe how close they all were back then, chilling together sparring endlessly, and now they're fighting for legacy and real stakes. This transforms the narrative from beef to unfinished business. Augie didn't pick a side, and that's the loudest statement. When a coach who's seen both up close says let the best man win, he's really saying this is a technical knife fight where a single mistake decides everything.
Teofimo, so he can put his counter to work and see his openings, and maybe capitalize off of. I don't know if he'll knock him out or stop. I don't know if he has the power to actually stop to stop Teofimo. But I think he has the power to get the respect of him. But it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a technical fight.
Do you give the edge to either guy just by the slightest, or having known them, you're not trying to pick a
I'm not trying to
let the best man win.
Yeah, let the best man win.
Right after Augie Sanchez gave us that rare I've been in the ring with both perspective Regis progress steps, and like the friend who pauses a room and says, let's talk about what really breaks fighters. Regis didn't sugarcoat anything. He said straight up that Shakur wins is comfortably not because Teofimo lacks talent, but because as Regis put, the fight happens in Teo's head long before it happens in his legs. When he said Teo is elite athletically but mentally shaky, it wasn't hate, it was a fighter recognizing patterns we've all seen. Regis highlighted how Teo rises for Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, but then seems to argue with himself in other fights. And that's exactly where Shakur thrives in quiet space where doubt starts whispering. I appreciate how Regis didn't dismiss Teo's highlights, even noting Barboza, but he quickly returned to the bigger picture inconsistency plus a thinker equals a dangerous matchup.
Of Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, that definitely makes sense. Who do you think is going to win that fight?
I got Shakur for sure. Shakur.
Do you think he wins this comfortably, or do you think it'll be a close fight?
I think he wins it comfortably, yeah. I think he wins it comfortably. I think, Shakur, I think the thing is about Teo is very good athletically, but he's weak-minded. You can see in some fights he's struggling. Teo does struggle. Now he does come up for big fights. Lomachenko, he came up. Josh Taylor, he came up. But a lot of fights, man, he struggles. He does struggle on a whole lot of fights and stuff. Like, I think he looked good. Yeah, he looked good against Barboza. But like I said, for the most part, Teo does.
When Regis described the first 2 or 3 rounds as close, it felt real early Teofimo is usually sharp, confident, bouncing, fully believing. But then he illustrated the slow squeeze, Shakur stepping up Teo, swinging and missing in frustration, creeping into footwork, posture, patience. When Regis talked about Shakur's counters sneaking in that landed hard, these aren't highlight punches or receipt punches, subtle, but enough to make you question your timing every exchange. I love that Regis didn't call a knockout, because that's actually scarier. A comfortable 12-round loss means a long night realizing your best ideas aren't working. This ties perfectly to Augie's point about precision and timing. Regis is essentially saying once Shakur settles in the fight, becomes a mental audit. And when a former champion says someone will break you, he isn't talking damage, he's talking belief. That's the real danger here.
I think he struggles mentally with a lot of things, but I think with Shakur, Shakur's going to break him. I think maybe the first two or three rounds, it might be a close fight. It might be close. It might be 2-1 or something like that. But then after that, I feel like, Shakur is probably going to start stepping up and Teo's going to try to hit him and it's not going to work. And then Shakur might start. The thing about Shakur is a very good, a real good counterpuncher.
When you stack it all together, it stops being about who talks the loudest and starts being about who can survive themselves. Shakur moves like a man built for long nights, guided by experience, honed by discipline, trusting that control always shows up on time. Teofimo moves like a man who believes chaos is a weapon, convinced one perfect burst can flip the script and prove ceilings exist to be broken. It's calculation versus combustion patience versus provocation to technician, who erases options against a fighter who thrives on moments. Every voice we heard circled the same truth from different angles. This fight won't be decided by hype. It will be decided by who sticks to their identity when it gets uncomfortable. Someone's belief will be tested, someone's rhythm disrupted, and someone's version of themselves exposed under the bright lights.
Shakur's a very good, a real good counterpuncher, really sharp, real sharp with the counterpunch. He sneaks those punches in, and that's the one that hurt the most, when he just sneaking them in when you're not supposed to hit him. So I definitely feel like, I feel like Shakur's gonna beat him comfortably. Not knockout, but comfortable.
Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's debate this fully. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to BW Today. Catch you in the next one.